Hey guys, welcome to the 11th episode of Clappy and Frank.
It is so exciting to be here for our 11th episode. Everybody should please enjoy this show. It's going to be fantastic and amazing. It's something very unique.
How do you know?
Because I know Yudi Cohen is just an outstanding, happy, positive, motivational person that just makes you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, bro, that's true. Thank you.
So Yudi, are you a Chazzan? A cantor?
It's a good question.
Opera guy? What you do?
Well, I grew up learning from Chazanas from my father. I can't say I was a Chazzan for many years in South Africa, in Johannesburg, South Africa. And I have a degree in opera, so...
you got the paperwork.
Yeah, I got the paperwork, yeah. But I sing all kinds of music. Today, if you say somebody is a Chazzan, it could like red lights start flashing and bells start ringing. So I'm part of what I do is being a Chazzan.
What's your goal as a performer?
My goal as a performer is to open people's hearts, actually. That's my goal. That when I perform, I want people to open up. And what they do with those open hearts, that's their business.
How do you do it?
How do I open their hearts? How do I open? I think that music opens people's hearts. Music, when it's sung in a way that you, or more of a vessel, as Chassidus would say, a keli to the art form or to the music that goes through you. Music opens people's hearts. As long as you can remove your ego during the time. Before and after, you can have a strong ego.
We have a wide audience from people from all different backgrounds in the world. And even in our community, when we say Chazzan, I want to just make a breakdown. There's a Chazzan, the guy's like, yeah, Moshe, you want to go to the Amid? The Kiddush is getting it cold. Go to the Amid Musaf and, gargle a few pages of Atar Kenanta. Then there's Chazzan, like, even a shul that doesn't have a lot of money, they'll pay somebody $5,000-$10,000 to daven Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur during the year. Anybody that can read Hebrew is a Chazzan. Then there's Avram Fried, putting out, like putting out an album every year, getting hired by all the Jewish places to gig. And then there's like a Helfgat. So there's like a Helfgat, there's like an Avram Fried, there's the Chazzan guy that goes to the Amid. Who's your target audience?
Oh, it's a good question.
So he's beyond Helfgat and Avram Fried. I just want to make
he sings better than Helfgat.
Honestly, he's my favorite Chazzan. Hence why I...
But 1 second, famous Chazzan, like...
Favorite over
Helfgat, over Avram Fried?
Over everyone.
Wow, that's quite a thing.
And
Moshe's a maven in music.
But your style music, you sing both styles, like Avram Fried and like a Helfgat.
And that was the coolest thing. I was in Johannesburg, South Africa, I'm going to say 18 years ago. And I have this preconceived notion of what a Chazzan looks and sounds like. And I come and I see this Chazzan, this big fancy shul with a 30-man choir. You had like a 30-people choir all sitting with their books and reading notes. And even though it was so official, he was super engaging, singing lively songs. It was not the typical funeral Chazanis music that I thought, that I was exposed to. So that was the thing that really captured me and got me super excited and impressed. And I'm a musician myself and a high holiday Chazan. I was very impressed. And then I saw Yudi, 15 years later, I saw him rolling around back at 770. I said, are you that talented guy that I heard in South Africa? And anyway.
So you were the paid senior Chazzan on a show in South Africa?
Yeah. So
it's a full-time salary?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Oh well.
What is a Chazzan getting paid? Let's say $150K a year. What do you do on a Monday afternoon at 2:00?
It's a good question. So first of all, I was involved in business over there, and I was blessed that I was able to do that because I was when I first came there, at least I was getting full-time salary at the shul. So I was involved in business during the week as well, and for the first few years when I was in Johannesburg, I studied. I did a full degree in opera. It's a 4-year degree where I was studying full-time.
What do you do all day? You gargle eggs? How do you study 4 years to be an opera singer?
Because opera is a whole art form. Opera is not just a voice. Opera is music. It's acting. It's interpretation. It's languages.
Jackie Mason makes such fun of opera. Opera. You go to the opera. Go to the guy. You have to go to the opera. You go there.
I'll tell you a funny story.
You see a bunch of old Jews sleeping at the opera.
Yeah, there's a lot. Opera is an incredible art form. But one of the funny things, there's so many funny things. But one of the funny things is I grew up in London, and we had a version of Oletera in London. So we never had any secular studies. Secular studies includes know English because that would be
I
secular.
thought our Torah is exclusive.
No, exclusive to
To no
some kind of
to no English education.
No English. So we had no English. I never learned how to read or write English. I never learned mathematics because for some reason they thought mathematics was also secular for Goyim. Although the Rambam, I mean, the whole thing is based on mathematics. It was for Goyim. So also dogs were also for Goyim. You know, we used to walk in the street and say, "Also, you guys," right? You'd say, "What's up?" We were saying it on our because in London everybody had a dog. So from the time we left our house till we got to school. And then if we walked past the church, we would say Shakat. You know that pasuk?
And spit.
Because my Zayda came from Russia. He would walk across the road.
A whole day you were walking and saying.
The problem was if you were walking past the church and the dog came by, the Shaila which pasuk you said first. So anyway, so we never learned.
How come people are not into these days?
Yeah. My brother-in-law Yechanan Gordon said that in his community in Chazzan there's like 20 churches in a row, and every time his grandfather Schoenberg Gordon would come, he would say mumbling and spitting the whole time.
But it's a whole genre. Like it's also if you make a bracha levatal, you say Baruch Shem Kved Malchus. If you say something terrible to someone, you say Chas v'Shalom. It automatically reverses the whole thing. It's a whole kind of genre where nobody knows exactly where these things all come from. Actually, Baruch Shem we probably do know, but so we never studied. I never learned a word of English. So when I came to do my degree in opera, opera is studied is sung in many languages. 5 main languages opera is sung: English, Italian, German, French, and Russian.
Not Latin?
Well, they're all based on Latin languages. On Latin,
No Hebrew,
languages.
no Hebrew operas.
No Hebrew opera. Hebrew. I could just imagine. It'll be the best opera. This is the best ever. Pavarotti, what do you know? Do you know that Domingo, his first professional hiring was in the Tel Aviv Opera. His first professional, Domingo, the great, he's in the opera world. Some people consider him the greatest opera singer ever, because he's an all-rounded musician, not necessarily because of his singing, but also because of his all-round. And he said because when he was hired, he's like, "No, come and sing. We don't care. You know, he doesn't have to be perfect." But he started off there. So we had to study language. Now, in class, I'm studying Italian, so you get tested. You have a fair on what you learn. So I get a great mark. In German, I'm studying in German. Wie geht's? Auf Wiedersehen. I learned that. I said, they ask a question. How do you say goodbye? Auf Wiedersehen. In Italian, ci vediamo. Great. Comes to all of the assignments in English, and I have to write an essay in English. And the head of the department calls me and she says, "I don't understand, Yudi. You're writing something in English you can't spell. Your grammar is crazy." And she couldn't understand. I explained to her I was in an institution. That we didn't learn. I never wrote it. I never learned how to read or write English.
Have you ever picked it up?
Yeah, I picked it up. Relatively. If you see our writing, you can still tell because the P's, I don't know how to write. The P has to be, the top part has to be on top of the line. But I write.
Who writes this? Everything's typed.
Everything's typed. Everything's typed.
Autocorrect.
Who needs anything? Just AI.
You can,
AI everything.
And I'm not the only. There's lots of people who didn't learn how to read or write English. And Baruch Hashem, everyone, they're all fine. Mathematics is another question.
We just jumped to South Africa. You grew up in London.
I grew up in London, and I went through the whole system. I mean, grew up in Lubavitch.
And your father was a Chazzan?
My father was. He used to freelance. Rosh Hashanah Kippur. He was about to. Both of my Zaydas were Chazzan. My father's father was an official Chazzan in England in a Shul in Sunderland for many years. My Zayda, my mother's father, Beryl Levin, was also about tefillah. I mean, the Levin family, his brother, and Zalman Levin, called Latzmei Saitema. It's the same mishpacha. That he's a cousin of my Zayda. So they were always, music was always a part of the thing. I used to go with my father to Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. I remember as a kid, he was practicing with the choir downstairs, and he had the choir master was on one leg, and he was conducting, and I used to lie there thinking he was going to fall over or not fall over. I always have this memory of a one-legged choir conductor for Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Mi yichya, mi yomus, mi yipol, mi yokum. It's funny memories. We ask about a chazan. What's a chazan? I always say that Amal, in the old days, a chazan didn't have to be Shemin Shabbos, but he had to be able to sing. today, they're very mapped with the Chazzan and Shem and Shabbos. Singing is just, as long as he doesn't have to necessarily be able to sing.
A little tone deaf. What's the worst that will happen?
What's the worst? He keeps Shabbos. Oh, is that
but on the reverse, if the Chazzan's davening for you on Yom Neraim, you want somebody that's Yerushalayim.
I'm not arguing. They say, why did Yossel Rosenblatt, they used to say Yossel Rosenblatt and Kvartin, two of the great Chazanim, they used to say, used to ask Yossel Rosenblatt, why do you get paid so much more than Kvartin? Kvartin was not necessarily a frum yid, to put it mildly, and Yossel Rosenblatt was not only a frum, he was a Chassidish yid. How come you get paid so much more? He said, they pay me also for the stiller Shemon Esrei.
Yudi, tell us about your child music career, which sort of went to sleep the past 20 years and the past few years sort of awoken. Please tell us about that.
My child music career. So, as a kid, we the first.
I would say the most ironic career I've ever heard in my life.
Well, it was an interesting. It's been an interesting ride. Let's just say. My first time that I sang sort of a solo on a recording was in the Bavitch Meister in London. They made an album called Miarmia.
Miarmia?
Miarmia, because it was in memory of Benzin Shem Tov, and Benzin Shem Tov's song was Miarmia Admuras. He taught it, or he invented it. Some sort. It's an old Russian march that was picked up somewhere in a krechma or a bar or something, and then transformed to Kedusha by Benzin Shem Tov. So he sang Miarmia, so that was the name of the album. And we had songs like Achle Lekim, and I sang this Achle Lekim and Shoshanas Yaakov and Nigun Rishchedes Kislev, and so
just for history, you're how old?
I'm 51.
51. So we're talking about 40 years ago in London.
A long time. No, this is when I was 8. So this is like
43
thousands of years ago, man. This is like a long time ago.
In the early 80s.
Early 80s, yeah, early 80s. So we had that recording, and then
so you were the solo in this.
I was one of the soloists on this.
And then it was a tape.
It was a tape. It's still, if you go on Spotify, you can find it.
They sold it at Judaica stores in London.
I don't know if they sold it, they gave it away for free, but it was available on the market.
Well, they paid
no, it was an album. It was sold in those days. Yeah, it was a tape. It was, for those listeners who don't know what a tape is, it was a tape. Yeah.
Google it.
Yeah. So we made that album, and then actually my cousin. My cousin Mendy Solomon, a shliach in Short Hills, we were very close, and he actually married my cousin, but he's also like a brother, and we were very close family. He knew Avram Rosenberg from Silver Zemmer through Montreal camp.
I remember going to Silver Zemmer concerts 30 years ago.
Yeah. Nowadays nobody knows because it doesn't really.
Brooklyn College, Chalamite, Silver Zemmer concert. Yeah. You buy tickets in Judaica World for $18.
Yeah.
I remember going.
Yeah. So he convinced Avram Rosenberg. He said, "You got to get this kid from London or whatever it was." And we, so I remember getting the phone call, whatever it was. I remember when that call came through in London. So my class were coming here from London for Yud Shvat, a pre-bar mitzvah trip, and they contacted my parents, asked if when I'm here, I would be able to sing for the recordings. Then it was. I remember listening to the first two albums. You know them? Rachem, Rachem, Bechastecha, Alam Chatz. Oh, that was so gorgeous, beautiful.
I wasn't even born.
Yeah, and Eibishter and
Eibishter. That's a classic.
Yeah, those are
absolute classics.
Those Silver Zemmer was really. There was three choirs. There was three main choirs. There was London School of Jewish Song, who I still believed. I never sang for them. I still believe that till today they were the. Who's
Pirche London?
London School of Jewish Song was Yigal Salik.
His first yard site was a few days ago.
Yeah.
There's a few-hour music composition that happened in Eretz Yisrael on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Everybody has to watch it. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I think that they were...
Yigal Kalik, yeah.
They were, yeah.
Did they invite you?
And there was... No,
Did they?
In order to join them, you had to approach them. And it was a whole process of approaching them. As far as I remember hearing, they didn't approach you. But as my story goes with Silver Zemmer, not only did my parents not approach them, there was a whole... I had to ask Mashpiyim if I was allowed to sing with them once they approached me. So they definitely want to go...
By the way, it's borderline abusive, but I'm hearing a lot of stories out of London. My in-laws grew up in London, and they came close to Lubavitch and raised my family, whatever. It used to be that in London in the 1970s, 80s, every single thing was usser. Women can't get together for an event during the week. They have to be with the family. Kids can't go to mommy and me's. It takes away from the family. There was a lot of repression. What do you call it?
You said it to put it mildly. I mean,
Yeah,
that was very mild compared to what it was.
And that's why these kids in London, they run for their lives. They turn
there's very
17.
few-
They never got to stay away.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Lubavitch got it wrong in London.
So it's very interesting because Lubavitch in London in the 70s and early 80s, very early 80s. I think that was just the beginning of January 1980. That's how early 80. But in the 70s, where they were very much they were very much in front, very forward. If you look at the building that Lubavitch built in London, this beautiful building. It was one of the first Lubavitch buildings to have it had a gym. The Shul was put in the gym. The gym, they asked the Rebbe whether they should build a mikveh or a swimming pool. They built a swimming pool. And Lubavitch was very, very much in London originally at the forefront. They had activities great, and something somewhere along the line, something snapped. I don't know what it was. And from
what it was or who it was?
Both related, but I don't know. I don't know what it was. I would like to know. I have in my head some clear signs. I remember when they used to have beautiful rallies. They had a mechitza down the middle in the big shul, and there were lots of rallies, and there were clowns, and at some point they decided now that it wasn't good enough because the boys and girls were together in the same room. They put the girls downstairs and the boys, and it was almost like an obsession. They started obsessing with that aspect, which most of the time
more chiddish, more chinyak, more frumak.
It comes from most of the time from some individual who's got an unhealthy relationship with the opposite sex or whatever it might be, if I may say that word. I said opposite before it, so it's not a terrible thing. So from that, at some point something changed and it became literally repressed.
So the Silver Zemmer.
So going back to Silver Zemmer, I had to ask Mashpim. Now my uncle, my mother's uncle, my great uncle is Mendel Morozov. So in those days, I'm an Inukul of Baba Mayasha. There wasn't that many thousands of us in those days. So my mother said, call Fetter Mendel to ask him.
Mendel Morozov?
Yeah.
The famous guy from Old Torah?
Yeah, Mendel
he passed away recently, like 100 years old or something.
Yeah.
Chash of a guy.
Yeah, amazing. So I had to call him to ask him if I'm a Chassidish Bacha, Lubavitch Bacha can sing on a thing. He said, "Yeah, no problem." so I got with the Mashpiyim cleared it.
Not the London Mashpiyim.
No.
Modern Crown Heights Mashpiyim.
Modern Crown Heights 100-year-old. He wasn't 100 at the time. He was like. Anyway, so he said, okay, I came to Crown Heights and I did the recording for the first album. They gave me the tape one night. I met Avram Rosenberg. He has family in Crown Heights. I met Avram Rosenberg. He gave me the tape. He said, okay, take this, learn the songs. Tomorrow we're going to go to the studio. My class went to the United Nations. We were all there on a class visit. They went as a trip. I went to the studio in Teaneck.
You missed nothing. If that building completely disappeared, the world will be a better place.
Yeah, correct.
Like, build fancy condos, nuts.
Correct. So I went to the studio the next day and I recorded the first. So that was the first time I was there, and I only recorded solos. I didn't sing with the choir. So I recorded Ar Chadash. No, that's the way it was choir. Ar Chadash Al Tzion Tayim.
Oh, that one Lakewood's big into that.
Yeah,
Lakewood Weddings.
That was Yossi Green's composition.
Still a popular song.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. Oh, it was a beautiful song. It was a big hit at the time. And then I sang I sang a few Mitzvah Gedolah and Chemdas Yom.
They paid you?
No, but they didn't pay me.
And how old were you?
I was...
Bar mitzvah class.
I was 12. I was 12 at the time.
Okay.
But he gave me a gift. He gave me a beautiful double cassette player, JVC, and it had auto reverse. So when the tape came to the end, it would reverse.
Open it up and
it would turn over the thing. And he took me to the pizza store. He said, "Yudi, you could take whatever you want." I said, "I could take whatever I want. I can take a pizza with mushrooms and onions and olives." And like in England, there was this little tiny kosher pizza shop in Golders Green called Kosher Arena, and only privileged people went there.
Depression.
Yeah, it was like a. So I came to America, and he said, "You can have whatever pizza you want." And I mean, I think I took some. I probably have some left over now in my pocket from when I was there, but and that was that was the first time I did it. And the next year I came back and recorded the
So after that recording, did you become a star in London? Did people what had that?
It was
because you never met any of the choir members. Like people knew.
I met one of them the following year when I went to do the next recordings.
And you never performed with them?
I never performed with them.
I'm trying to understand. You're doing solos for these top songs, and the choir that's going to do the background, they're not even meeting you. It's like they're mixing it later on.
So the way these things work work anyways with these recordings and those kinds of things. I think if you have like certain bands and certain rock bands and stuff like that, they'll be in the studio together and do a lot of the stuff together, where they sort of compartmentalize. I don't know what it's called, the different
tracks.
As they're singing, they have a way to record everybody's. These kinds of things are done where the music is pre-recorded. Then the choir comes into the studio at a later date and sings the songs. And the soloists come in afterwards and fill in the gaps.
Even those days, they had good technology.
Yeah, even though they had what's called a 24-track thing, yeah.
So you became a star from your soloists, but there was recognition in London, New York. People knew you exist. Like, what was that scene? What was a snapshot of that time frame and you and them and your fans and people knowing about you?
First of all, there's no YouTube those days. There's no Instagram. There's no Facebook. So you
never even record with him.
No, but he could be a popular voice that hundreds of thousands of people are listening to, but they don't have the face and the voice together. So you can walk down the streets in London and they could be listening to music, but they don't know who you are.
And there's
asking, what's the snapshot of time?
So at the time, I knew it was a good feeling. I was a kid and I knew that I had sung on this international thing, but there was a lot of how do I say this? I don't want to come over negative. There was a lot of baggage that came with it because I was supposed to be this Chassidish kid, and it was almost like it was against, even though I was allowed to sing, it was almost like Zaynish Kim Balgaiva. One of the first things, Zaynish Kim Balgaiva. You know what I mean? Zaynish Kim Yesh. What was it? Yesh. So there was a lot of, it wasn't like a normal kid, not normal, another kid or a kid who go, you're singing great, beautiful, it's you, Zaynish Kim Balgaiva, whatever. There was a lot of, and then later on, there was a whole story where they wanted to there was a concert in London and somebody brought them out specifically because I was a soloist. There was a great Balbasa, his name was Bobby Vogel, and a big philanthropist, a big Balzdaka, and he was a big Askan, and his until today, actually, his family are the ones, the keepers of the yeshiva in Kingsley Way. It's been like that for years, and he wanted to make a fundraiser for the yeshiva. So he figured, we've got this local kid
who's a star,
who's an international soloist. Let's bring out Silver Zemmer and let's make a concert and he'll sing his solos. So they made the concert. They brought out Silver Zemmer. They were bringing out Silver Zemmer and Avram Fried. So I get a call from, my parents get a call from Avram Rosenberg. We're making the concert. Can Yudi sing? Ask him a So we had they're writing into the Rebbe. On an anecdote on this, it's a funny story because my father once bumped into a guy's name is Velvel Pasternak. Velvel Pasternak wrote all the music books called Tara.
About melodies.
So he told my father when they were recording Nichayach, the original Nichayach. Now, if at that time there was Nichayach and there was these various albums or various recordings of the post 60s or post war 60s, and so recording Nichayach. They were recording the Mojits. He was making a Mojits quite a Shlomo Kalbach, and there was a few of those. So
Rabbi Sons.
Yeah. I think Rabbi Sons was a little bit later.
The Chates.
Huh?
The Chates, the Rabbi Sons.
Yeah. So when he told my father a story, he could never get it done with Nichayach because every time he wanted to do something that somebody disagreed, he said, we have to write into the Rebbe. Every time he was trying to run a choir, every time he wanted to do a harmony that somebody disagreed with, he said, we've got to write into the Rebbe. Anyway, so my parents said we have to write into the Rebbe.
They should have moved the choir into the Zal in 770.
They could have a quick right away. Anyway, so my parents decided that they have to write to the Rebbe. So they wrote to the Rebbe, and already from that point on, it was like, I was a kid, and I could never get my head around it. Sometimes as a kid, you go through a stage where you're being disciplined or whatever. You understand, okay, you may not feel good that your parents are but you feel that it's right, you deserve it. Even then, I could not get my head around it. It made no sense to me. And the Rebbe wrote back. I remember waiting. Did the Rebbe write back? Binyamin's going to go. You could think. Anyways, eventually, a couple of days after they wrote him, the Rebbe said, Shailas Rav Chabad, ask Kalatzian. Ask Rav Chabad. So my parents went to the same rabbi, whatever whatever. It's not a question of blame. This is the story. This is factual what happened. And the rabbi said, it's not for Chassidus Shavacha to be singing on stage.
Imagine 2025.
Mamish destroy your kids.
that so I don't know. Today I don't really have any trauma from it at all. But I mean, I'm saying like you don't know. You don't actually know what I think now. These years later, I'm thinking about it. And I'm thinking it must have done but at the time, it was very traumatic. It was. I couldn't.
I think they asked the wrong Rav. He should have said, "Of course, it's good for the kids."
My parents asked the Rav they wanted to ask. It's also, you know what I mean. It's part of the whole thing. So, they anyway. So
trauma alert.
And I remember they would. Bobby Vogel couldn't answer. He was calling whoever it was and like, "Why don't you let this kid sing?" And whatever it was. But at the end of the day, the choir came.
Did you hear it?
My father took me that night when the concert was in London. He drove me to Manchester so that I shouldn't feel upset.
No, what I'm really upset about is that they're making the choir in the Lubavitch Yeshiva to fundraise for the Lubavitch Yeshiva. So bring a not Lubavitcher kid because he didn't ask a Rav that didn't say it's not Chassidish enough.
Well, they didn't. They got one of the kids from Silver, one of the other kids in the choir to sing the solos.
You don't understand? They have to bring the guy, the not Lubavitcher kid, to sing for the Lubavitcher kid. But the Lubavitcher kid that's supposed to sit in the crowd, he can't watch it. If it's not Chassidish enough, don't bring the choir. Stay home and eat pizza, which is also not
Well,
Chassidish.
if he could have, he probably would have cancelled the
No,
concert
I'm very
as well.
angry about the story.
Yes, thank you.
Because
Thank you. I think that
because these stories, it's such a contradiction. Don't bring the Bobby vote. Don't bring the choir into the yeshiva.
Bobby, it
if the
wasn't.
Lubavitcher kid can't be in the choir, shut it down. No choir.
Bobby Vogel persist. Actually, it was Adrab. He
wanted you. No, he's
he
good.
persisted in bringing them, even though look, the guys in London, the same rabbis who said I shouldn't sing, they used to ban every concert. Avram Fried, they banned him. Mordechai David, they banned him. They banned all these guys. That was the same. It was the same.
But you understand what I'm saying? If the choir's not Chassidish, don't bring it into the Lubavitch Yeshiva and make a fundraiser. If it's good enough, then Yudi Cohen singing.
Got it. So you were a star locally in London, yes or no?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yes. And when you came to New York, people recognize you or not?
Yeah,
really?
well, the kids in the community all knew that I had.
You're a star.
Those people knew, and
so you're the anonymous child star.
well, yeah.
Because now I know when you walk around Crown Heights with you, everyone's like starts singing your solos,
It's such a funny thing. It's 40 years later.
and they're all singing his
It's
solos.
such a weird thing. It's 40 years later. I mean, I hadn't even reached puberty at the time. I was like, now I'm like, look at my beard and it's like, I was telling somebody a lesson. It's a very important thing. Why?
But I put him back in. We put him back in the studio and he re-recorded it. We
It's
put
just
out one.
that.
I have to check out the views now, but it's at what were we before Shabbos? 6,000. Let me check.
It's increased over Shabbos exponentially.
Yeah.
By the way, after this Rav
Yeah,
after you to sing,
6,700.
you were still doing recordings for Tzvolva
And I had done the two. That was the two that I had done. He didn't say no, because he said publicly. But I had done the two. That was it. Those are the two albums that I did. And then by the next time, my voice had already. I did Silver Volume 3 and Silver Volume 4.
So can we skip? Clive, you're allowed to skip. I know you're like counting
let's
every
go
year, and
skip.
every day, and every month.
Skip.
Jump. Sorry. When you get your first full paying gig, how old were you?
My first paying gig,
Like full time.
a full-time job.
Let me take it back. When was the first time you got paid? Normally, or like anything?
The first time I got
What was the
Not,
first
not
time you
pizza.
get paid?
Not pizza.
Not pizza, no tape
First
recorded.
time I got paid
Where, when, what?
was Bobby Vogel.
He came through.
Before he was a big fan of my singing. I used to go. There's videos now. Just surfaced recently of me singing in his house, Purim, Karlbach stuff. He had a birthday. His family made a birthday party for him. I don't remember how old I was. I think I was pre-Silver Zema days even, and he had a party, and they got me to sing at the party, and I got a check for £100. Now we're talking about how many years ago is this? 30. It must be worth like
$500 today?
$25,000.
$500 today. I was always
don't know.
500.
Yeah, for me, a little kid, it was a lot. That was the
Lot of
first time
money.
I was ever. Bobby Vogel was the first guy who paid.
The next time?
What was it? Like many years later.
20?
No. So the next time I full time was in South Africa when I went to South Africa.
Or you would get Yom Narim gigs before?
Yom I did by different shluchim, but the first full time Kaviyachal
Cape Town.
position was actually in Oxford Shul in Johannesburg. I went there as a bach after I finished smicha and everything like that.
Do you recommend the career?
Do I recommend the career?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't answer the question. What was his first paid gig? In South
Yeah,
Africa?
Oxford Shul.
So how did you get the gig?
I was there I went out to teach. I was sitting in 770 actually, because I was after smicha and the regular thing. What in those days. I was learning, and I was sitting there, and a friend of mine came to me and said to me, "You want to go to South Africa?" He was teaching there; they needed to teach us. So and the Torah Academy, which is the Chabad school. You know, Bachim go out to teach in the schools. And I went out there, and when I was there, I davened one Shabbos at Oxford Shul, and then their Chazzan, who had left previously, Ari Klein, who just passed away recently, he had recently left, and they said, "Do you want to come back for Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur?" Because I was in 770, and I said, "Yeah." I came Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Then they offered me the full-time position. And
You're single?
I was single as a
And
bacher.
they're going to offer you, I'm trying to understand, they're going to offer you a full-time gig in the show as a single bacher?
Yeah, I was that good.
Isn't it like they want married, stability, family?
Yeah, I did, but you know what? I mean, I grew up in Stanford Hill. Didn't know anything about stability or anything like that. So you know,
You didn't have to ask you my spiel. If it's Chassidish, you have to sing in a show. It's not
yeah. If I asked them much for all the things I did subsequently. Yeah.
So they hired you to be the full-time...
So they hired me Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Then I remember they said, maybe you want to carry on. I went back to New York, and for the few years that I was at that shul, I was almost like coming back to New York and there coming back and forth. So it was it was cool. It was amazing.
What type of money are we talking about?
It was in those days. It was good money. It was
In the equivalent of 50,000, 60,000 a year?
more
100K a year?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly the
Like a
amount.
bacher making a lot of
I was
money.
making a lot. I didn't know what to do. I never had any money, so I was just basically. I mean, I was being paid in dollars as well at the time, and you see, South Africa at that time was almost at the tail end of its Chazanos thing. South Africa was very into, every shul had a Chazan and everything like that, and I think that almost like I was like the bridge between the old kind of thing and the new, because even when I got it, once I did become Chazan full time, I changed the style because I grew up with Chassidish Nigunim. I grew up with both styles, and I changed the style into being very much a participatory style of singing. And
what's the hardest part of being a Chazzan?
Of the career or of singing?
Career.
The hardest part of the career. It's not being in music. You know, there's a famous rock star. I don't remember who it was that said, "Music is spiritual. The music business is not." And that's the way it is. I've had some interesting experiences from other people who have been in this industry who have actually literally proven that point. So I would say that, but I've also had wonderful, amazing things. If somebody came to me today, say to me, a youngster came to me, "I want to be a chazan, I want to do it as a career," I would be very hesitant to tell anybody to get into music. Music and arts is not an easy. You have to do it because you're so passionate about it, or because it's your natural evolution towards that state.
So should we do podcasting? What do you think?
Podcasting is a highly recommended podcasting. Yeah.
It's an art form.
Yeah.
We really have to love it.
Yeah.
So you think?
I think a podcast. No, but it's the in thing now. Also, it's a trending thing, and you know, you don't necessarily have to be Shem Shabbos to do a podcast.
I don't ask about my shpia if I should have you.
Exactly.
So you're a bacher in 770. You've flown here to this cool shul. They think you're amazing and talented, not just for Shoshana, but for a full year, getting paid in U.S. dollars. You're living the life.
I'm absolutely living the life.
Back and forth, New York, South Africa.
It was amazing. I fell in love with South Africa because the Yiddishkeit over there, the country and the Judaism, was the complete opposite of everything that I was brought up with. It was and it still is. It was a joyous Yiddishkeit, a Yiddishkeit where they were proud to walk in the street with a yarmulke. I grew up every day, somebody would curse me. Jew boy in London, I remember somebody throwing a brick at my mother. And we grew up with anti-Semitism. It was a daily thing in London.
So it's not new in London, all this anti-Semitism.
No. It's just gone much worse, and it's evolved into a different kind of form, which is much... That's another whole story. But we grew up in Europe. Anybody who grew up in Europe as a Jew in the street walking with a yarmulke would have experienced it. In South Africa, it was, and also the kind of Judaism that we had was very severe. It was very oppressive. It was, but there it was joyous.
Warmkeit.
Oh, it was gorgeous, and people lived life, and people knew how to. They enjoyed life. You have to enjoy life. You want to have Yiddishkeit, proper Yiddishkeit, you have to enjoy it. You have to love it. You have to love life. You can love the Eibishter if you love life. If you don't love life and you're not living it,
They should have shipped the Rabbanim in London to South Africa for a few weeks, get them retrained.
It's the British Commonwealth. You think?
I think they probably offered, but South Africa didn't want to take them. They offered to send them there for a while. But I wouldn't say also it wasn't all people in London. It was specifically where I grew up. But just generally, England is a different kind of environment.
So what happens with this career and this Chazzan gig? Is that how you married somebody from South Africa?
I was there as a bacher for sure. I was there for a long time. I met my wife in South Africa at Simchas Beis Sheva. And again, people are like, I bonim of neighbonim, Eiskim Batera of mitzvahs from Simchas Beis Sheva. You know what I'm saying? So, Eiskim Batera mitzvahs, yeah, but time will tell.
You ever composed?
I never composed.
You want
I would love to.
to, but you don't have it.
Have
you tried?
I haven't tried enough. It's not, but the truth is, I don't believe in composing. It's something that if you have to try too hard, then it's not really something. Composing has to come from a deeper place, you know. But it's my intention to do some of that too.
Maybe AI can help you with that.
Maybe AI.
Have you tried to use AI to compose?
Yeah, I will.
You will.
It's Motzei Shabbos. We've never had somebody on a Motzei Shabbos that was also a musician. Maybe you could sing episode Amar Hashem Yaakov. Give the audience, the tens of thousands of people, give them a taste of your beautiful voice.
There's a beautiful Amar Hashem Yaakov. I grew up. My father used to listen to Mojit Nigunim. I love Mojit Nigunim, and I'd love to do something like that, like just have an evening where we get a few chevra together and sing Mojit Nigunim, and then have another evening for the Lubavitch.
Guitars?
Yeah, guitars or instruments, but there's a lot of chassidim out there and who know Mojit Nigunim. Mojits were very, very, very special.
And Zion Schenker was big in Mojits. He was a big composer.
He composed a lot of the Nigunim. I mean, your famous story where the Mojits Rebbe composed Ezkara.
Yeah, when he was the surgery.
He was getting half
during
an hour song.
The surgery, they didn't have any anesthetic, and he didn't feel it or something.
Yeah, that's the power.
What's your favorite part of performing?
My favorite part of performing? Connecting with people. That's because that's also when I know that I'm doing when I'm on stage and I forget about me. It sounds strange, but that's the way it is.
So if you hear the audience,
if I am on stage and at that moment Yudi Cohen comes into the equation, it interferes between. But if I lose myself to the music or to the whatever it is, you become a keli for the air that comes through it, and then those moments are. They call it in sports or whatever. It's called getting into the zone. Those moments are almost euphoric because you just lose yourself, and it's like.
Who's your favorite Jewish composer?
When you say Jewish, you mean
from?
Yeah, I grew up. Yossel Rosenblatt was my
Debba in music
was my king.
So
was my
favorite composer. He's your favorite composer.
Yeah, I'm also Shlomo Kalbach. I mean, there's music. I mean, these are. So Yossel, the guys who Yossel Rosenblatt, I would say Yossel Rosenblatt, Shlomo Kalbach, and those two.
If you had to volunteer to sing, which type of music would you sing?
It's a very hard question to answer. Oh God, everyone. I mean,
or what do you?
I sang opera on stage. That's another coming from Smicha. I just finished Smicha, and a couple of years later, I'm doing the role of Carmen on stage. That was quite a
jump,
quite a jump. Yeah, but I think that there's something about that. There's something about opera that is just. There's no word. There's nothing. It's a genre. It's a genre of music that is absolutely incredible. That's one thing. There's moments.
How often do you go to operas?
I go when I can go.
And Atlanta has?
Atlanta has. They just have now a Traviata, which was the last role that I did before I left South Africa. They have it.
Did you dabble in the opera scene in Atlanta? Not yet.
Not yet. No.
So what
also, I have a problem because of my ear now.
What's the problem with your ear?
Before I left South Africa, I had an operation on my sinuses, and in London, what's called the National Health Service, it takes you a long time to get an appointment, and even when you do, then the follow-up is like,
Sounds like Canada.
Yeah, it takes like...
Universal healthcare is terrible.
Yeah, so I can't blame it because everything is supposed to be exactly how it's supposed to be, but the way it unfolded, Al Piteva, was that it took a long time to get things done, and the build-up of fluid caused me to lose a lot of my hearing in my left ear. So if I'm...
Which is the worst thing for a musician.
It's crazy. But the flip side to it is incredible.
Silver lining.
Huh? The silver lining is that that was a part of the technique that I was trying to get for many years. I've been trying to get forever.
What is it?
And there's a blockage. It's almost about the lower... Opera is very much uses... Its main thing actually is the lower chest voice. So If you sing, for example, if you watch a lot of the Chazanim, even today, they sing very much in their head. It's like I'll give you an
Nasal.
example.
It's called nasal music.
It's this almost this forward height placement, which is like a very much if I give you, it's a very high placed voice, and opera is very, very much. The foundation, the fundamental is completely the opposite. It's based on the chest. So it would be, and then you superimpose the top on top of that. So it would be very much, I don't know. O suave fanciulla, o dolce viso di vite, circonfusa al palunare, il terra. You got a lot of the bottom part of the voice. How did I get onto this? I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what the question was.
The hearing.
So the hearing. So when I'm singing, I still don't know how I got onto that, but when I'm singing, it's very hard for me to hear the outside music. Now, if you're singing, let's say pop music, or I'm singing a concert, I can have a sound monitor that plays music, or in-ear monitor that plays.
Right.
But opera is sung without any amplification. So I'm standing on stage singing. There's a massive orchestra, and there's no microphones. There's no sound, and so it's difficult. It's difficult for me to hear what they're doing. So I haven't even bothered.
That's perfect. So now you only have time for chazanas and Jewish music. So
no.
The mashpia is probably so happy.
Yudi, how do you classify Jewish music? What's Jewish? What's Chabad?
Jewish, there's modes. In music, there are different modes of music.
A lot of the music today coming out is like totally, there's nothing Jewish about it. They take something from Z100 and they put in a few,
It depends what you what is a definition of Jewish music?
Yeah.
I think that a lot of times in the frum community, if they start doing something, then they call it Jewish. If they don't do it, they call it not Jewish. You know what I mean? That's the kind of cultural appropriation in a way, a lot of it. In music, there's what's called modes. In the most simple modes are minor and major and minor. That was actually Friggish, which is very much a lot of minor is da 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 re mi fa sol la di da di da da. That's major, and minor is. In minor, there's a few versions, but the simple version is that's another one mode. That's a different mode. It's not minor, but anyway, minor is.
Let's keep it simple.
Yeah, keeping it simple. There's different modes, so there are different locations, geographical locations in the world that their folk music used different kind of modes. So scales. So you will have the Carpathian Mountains, which is some of the songs you'll have. If you look at the Pastach, the Lubavitch Niggin, the Pastach, how does it go? Remember? Okay. Anyway, that's very much. It's got the feeling of it's in the mountains. It's got that feeling. It feels like a shepherd in the mountains, and because it's made. The music is consists of a certain mode. So Jewish music, technically, what they would call klezmer, is a lot of it is based on certain kind of modal music that was common in Jewish folk music in specific locations.
So Chabad nigunim, let's say.
But Chabad nigunim, is a Chabad niggun is nigunim that are composed within and part of the Chabad culture. So
did it reflect the Russian or Ukrainian or whatever surroundings of village music, or was its own little?
What's that?
Did the Chabad music reflect the Ukrainian?
Yes, a lot of it does. Very much. A lot of it very much does, yes.
The Rebbeim took music that was not Jewish, and they made it into Jewish music, like Napoleon's March, or Hadaras Vamun, like the Russian and national anthem.
French.
Could anybody take a not Jewish song now and make it Jewish?
Again, when you say Jewish, they made it. They almost made it religious. They turned it into a religious music. They turned it into a part of the religious experience. That's the difference in saying it became Jewish music. You want to talk about taking music and using it for Avodas Hashem, then it's like anything else in the world. Music is a neutral force.
If I hear a song, if there's a song on Z100 and it's really resonating me, can I put the songs of like Ashrei?
Absolutely, just do what everyone else is doing. There's some guys, I mean, Yidin, Kim Tahen, that's a German song that was banned in London. All of their Rabbanim, none of the Kadashia put up big signs and it was banned. That song was banned. I mean, a lot of the songs, the other guys that use a lot of like...
So Shlomo Karbach,
what about him?
original, right?
No, he most of his songs, but he does
a lot
sing.
of people ban Shlomo Karbach music.
Oh, they banned it. Yes,
a lot of people have banned Shlomo Karbach.
They banned it.
So
I'll
were
tell you a
saying
story
with
that I heard about
Shlomo?
Shlomo Karbach.
Yeah.
Because people are very quick to
Judge.
and it's very easy to
culture.
cancel culture. He was like one of the first chevra who was cancelled. Okay, so I'm not going to go into his whole political situation that he tells a story that he had with his fellow chevra here in 770 when he was a bacha. You know, he was here from Lake. He was learning in Lakewood. Him and his brother.
Eli Chaim.
Yeah, and so you can hear the story himself. We go on YouTube, but I'll tell you a story that I was by. I was a shliach in Melbourne as a Sydney as a bacha, and we went to Melbourne like as bachim. The kinnis are shluchim kind of bachim shluchim from Sydney, and we went to Melbourne. We farbranged it up with Itchimei Grona, and Itchimei Grona told me this story, and I'm sure I heard it from him directly. I'm sure it was that, or I heard the story anyway. He asked the Rebbe, Shlomo Karbach was coming to Australia, and he asked the Rebbe about whether he should bring him into a concert, whether he should make a concert with him. And the Rebbe said something to the extent of not making a concert with him in the Mossad. And when he came, he was very cold to him. And it was his contemporary. He was a contemporary of his. And he told me he realized after he made a big mistake. The Rebbe had told him, don't make a concert in the Mossad, because it's not unser Inyan. It's not our Inyan.
Be makar of him.
But he's your friend. That doesn't mean you don't talk to him. That doesn't mean you don't, So, look, Achrei Meis Kadeshim, when he was alive, the Frum Chevra, the Frum Olam, they spat on him. They were disgusting to him. You go to buy a piece of kugel in the shop, and all you hear is these Chevra singing Shlomo Karbach stuff. The whole day, wherever you go, they're all singing. They're making kumzitzes, they're making things.
But back in the day, what was the music around? Was it just Chabad Nichayach? Was the rabbi's sons? What was around?
Yeah. It was you had Nichayach, you had Mozhitz, you had the rabbi's sons, you had the Pirche, you had the different Pirches, there was something called Jep or Jem. Jep,
yeah.
J.E.P. Ani Ma'amin Be'emunah Shalem. I think that was from them. They had there was those songs.
You hear that? That sounds like you listen to that and you become not from.
Actually, the music was good. Later on, the music became quite different. But in those days, because these guys, a lot of these chevra who were making these music, were trained secularly. Had Shlomo Karbach, by the way, sings some songs like "Cinnamon" from Nina Simone. I mean, Nina Simone was a famous black jazz singer, and she sings the song "Cinnamon." Talking about when you sin, it's a religious song, and Shlomo Karbach sings it, Cinnamon. It's beautiful how he sings it.
Words.
He sings that song. He sings, "Someone is singing the Lord Kumbaya." You hear Shlomo singing that.
So Yudi, so what's Jewish music? Just it happens to be that Jewish people sing it, and that's
people call Jewish music what they listen to,
gotcha.
Right? Because that's their point of reference.
Gotcha.
Jewish music. It's religious Jewish music. Yes, it's music made up of psukim. Somebody later on, Yossi Green started composing songs that were also more creative in the lyrics, because
A.B. Rottenberg has like nice words in English, just stories that he takes a guitar and hums to it. It's like there's nothing.
But a lot of the original songs were like they would just take a pasuk and see what you can do. So the lyrics didn't actually have much because they were just. But now there's a lot of creative stuff coming out now. I think there's a lot of.
Who's your favorite living from composer today?
Living from composer. Yeah. Who composes? I think there's a few good ones. Yossi Green is still making gems.
Who's your favorite?
I'll say Yossi Green would say. I would say, yeah.
Who's your favorite Jewish from singer today?
I would say Ishay Riboy probably.
He's very good.
Yeah.
So you get married in South Africa.
Back to the days.
You get married in South Africa, and I want to know if somebody wants to go into this music as a career. I just want to know where your career took you throughout your life.
In South Africa, I was the Chazzan of the biggest shul.
For how many years?
Before I came here, before I left, 16 years.
You were in one shul 16 years.
I was in a few different shuls.
And they paid well.
And then I went to a shul that I stayed there for 16 years. They started paying me well, but the currency of the rand, literally crashed.
But don't they have to pay you what's good according to
No,
what
it
your
doesn't matter.
standard of living?
It doesn't matter, because what happens is, if the currency, there's a limit to how much they can increase. That's the way it works. So when a currency crashes, the regular people, they struggle with it. So that's what happened. So although initially I was paid very well, as time went by, it was no longer.
And the shul that you were the Chazzan in was a Lubavitcher shul?
No, but it had a Lubavitcher Rav. Yossi Goldman was the Rav there.
Oh, Goldman, the famous rabbi in South Africa.
Famous Rabbi Yossi Goldman.
You were the Chazzan in his shul.
Yes.
What's it called? It's
Sydenham Highlands.
Sydenham. Okay. He wrote a book. I saw it at the farm store.
Yeah. And I got, as a Chazzan, I got on very well with all the rabbanim that
you were in his shul 16 years?
Yeah.
And how many you had that's where you had a 30-piece choir singing with you?
30, I mean, it was around 18 to 19,
a Chai choir.
Chai choir, 18 to 19, a few of them passed away as the years went by.
And they weren't replaced?
They weren't replaced, because as soon as they were replaced, more passed away. No, I'm kidding.
They weren't replaced.
Guys in the choir, if you see this, I'm just joking. Baruch Hashem, what?
They weren't replaced because the rand wasn't paying enough.
They were actually, most of them were volunteers, but there was, when I started there was a chevra who had been singing in shul choirs for years. It was really beautiful. It was, I missed those pieces. I missed singing those. We had Shoshana Yom Kippur. We had, so the shul has 1,400 seats, and the first years the shul was full of Shoshana Yom Kippur. So imagine that. You see, when you talked about when the Beis Hamikdash is described in all its glory, Misha Leira, who I didn't see the building of Herod.
You never saw a nice building in your life.
So there was beauty, there was gorgeous architecture, there was gold, it was gorgeous. So you had, the senses were all being engaged when somebody went in the old days. Avodas Karbanos. Chassidus will explain what's all Avodah of Karbanos. It was an emotional journey. You were bringing your carbon, a chatas, whatever it was, and you had a choir standing on the side. They were singing. So it was a journey. What happened with shuls is they slowly removed a lot of the elements of the actual personal emotional journey.
That's terrible, absolutely terrible.
So, but it wasn't only the building. Now you have So, but anyways, when I first started, we had so it was, let's say, 1,400 people at Kol Nidre night. People wearing kittles and talesim, gigantic building, big sanctuary, that white on the bimah, and the aron opens. You have 15, 20 Sefer Torah in there, and people are standing. It was magnificent.
And you're the head Chazzan.
Yeah, we would sing these glorious compositions with a choir. It was. I miss that. The times have changed, and there's no.
You think it's coming back, Yudi?
No, never. There are a certain amount of occasional shuls that would want that, but it's
I don't know. There's young Satmar developers and there's young Five-Town kids that have $100 million, and if Louis Schreiner gets in the mood of putting a show up with a 30-piece Chazzan band and he wants to write you a fat check, why can't it happen?
Oh, if he does that, it can happen.
No, guys are blowing money on private jets.
No, because times have changed, and music is a reflection of it's a cultural expression, and what people want to hear. So although I miss it very much, I don't mourn its passing. Like some people say, oh, it's a terrible thing. We used to do this. Okay, yeah. I miss
How many of these shows are left in the world today?
That do that kind of thing
on a regular basis? A few years ago on a Friday night, I went to the Great Synagogue in Jerusalem, across the street from the Leonardo Hotel, and there's exactly what you're describing. Grand glory, hundreds of seats. The one time I think in my life I actually experienced this, like a 30-piece, I don't know if they were volunteered, paid, I don't know who was paid, not paid, I wasn't involved in the checks. And I was sitting there, and I'm not the biggest Chazzan guy, and I loved it. It was amazing.
Yeah. So you can go there, and you would enjoy it once in a while when you visit there, right? But you wouldn't go and sit there every Friday night.
I don't know.
I know, because I personally also wouldn't.
You were doing it and you didn't like it?
I would no. If I was doing it, I would enjoy it.
With this experience that you described on Yom Kippur night, what was going on Parshas Vayera on that show on a regular Friday night?
So there was in the days when I first started, there was probably between 500 and 600 people on a Friday night, and we had the same thing. So the davening.
You did the Chazanis with the 30 people on a Friday night?
18
people on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And how long was it from when you walked into the show till you left?
No, it wasn't that long. It was maybe between 6 and 7.
Wasn't
6 quarters. No, it wasn't that long. And then later on, I started singing with the choir more upbeat stuff. So we sang together with the choir, changed the style, and together with the choir, we'd get the people involved. And when I first started going, then I started clapping. They thought I was off my rockers. They were right, but it had nothing to do with the clapping. But I'm saying, like it was something foreign to them. But now that's become the norm.
And this Shul that you were at for 16 years, they still have such a thing?
They have it, but it's very different. There's no the choir, and it's like it's very much like almost like a wedding kind. The Chazzan is a wedding singer. He's very good at what he does, which is it's a very different kind of experience. Not like it was.
How often did you have to practice with these 18 people?
We had a rehearsal every Thursday.
Every week.
I wouldn't necessarily go to every rehearsal because they had a lot of work that they had to do. But when they had finished doing their part and I would have to come in, I would go in there. So I was there often. Every
I don't understand. You're the guy getting paid the big bucks. They're the volunteers. You don't even have to show up, and you're the one that's being paid for this.
It's a good point. I never thought of that. Huh?
That's a good life. And now Yudi,
they did it. The guys, they enjoyed it. It's the people who do these things.
Experience.
It's beautiful.
Gives them meaning.
I would love Chaver to see when you know how that feeling is when people are singing together and the whole community. Singing. Guys have never experienced singing in harmony, a 4-part harmony where you have the different voices. There's something about it that's so beautiful and so special. Do you know what I mean? That's very.
And now you're currently touring. And where do you live now?
I live in Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta,
Georgia, the bastion of Chazanis.
I met a guy on Friday. This Friday, I met a shliach. He's a chinuch shliach. His name is Jacobson. Yeah. He was walking to his mother's house, coming from the grocery store with like 30 bags. And I said, it's by cover. The guy's schlepping so much, whatever. Anyway, take a long story short. I asked him how many young from families moved to Atlanta in the last 15 years. I wanted to give a broad span. I said, guys between 20 and 50. He said over 100 families. 100? That's a lot.
Yeah.
Where did this renaissance happen in Atlanta?
It's a beautiful place. And I have to give credit to Rabbi, Yossi and Dasi, who have done something. Because when you have a place like that, the same way as in the opposite way in London, they destroyed the place. It's a very big sign of the leadership.
Wasn't it South African destination for a while?
What's that? A lot of South Africans went there. And they've obviously done something.
South Africans go from South Africa to Atlanta, Georgia?
A lot of South Africans.
What do they have in common? Peach trees, I'm saying.
No, it's very similar. It's the most similar place to Johannesburg that I have been to, outside of Johannesburg. It's very open. There's big spaces.
Oh, by the way, shout out a very close friend from Yeshiva, Isser Nu.
Yeah, okay.
Chashuv guy.
Hey, how's it? Great guy. And they've done something that created that environment that attracted lots of young.
So you're in South Africa for over 20 years.
I was in South Africa for more than 20 years. Yeah.
And how did you choose Atlanta, Georgia as the next?
We first went to London. I moved to London.
Oh, you went back to the abuse.
I went back to London.
You can't get away from there.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh? Well, actually, because London is actually a very beautiful city. London is a gorgeous city. London has culture, and if you're not being held down and crushed by some lunatics, London is a gorgeous city. So my kids are British, I'm British, so we figured that America was always the destination, but we thought it would be easier, the transition from South Africa, go to London, and London is
you told us about your current touring and Chazanis career today, November 15th.
What I currently do is I have a show that I take around to communities and other places if they want to offer at a concert, where I take the different styles of my music that I have, that I sing, which is opera, musical theater, and also like if it's before Yom Tov, I'll sing songs that are negare to that Yom Tov, but it's songs that people can relate to that are not necessarily listening to what you call Jewish music. So it's songs that regular people relate to.
So if a Chabad house is making a fundraiser and they want to bring somebody, it's not the regular box that I'm not going to say names of the regular Tom, Dick, and Harry singers that everybody's using. They could bring somebody like you that could do something unique,
absolutely
unique compositions.
Yiddish.
Yeah. So it's all
theater,
exactly
opera, all mixed.
Yeah, all mixed. And I'm very into. As I say, I went to Africa quite far away, but in the end of the day, I find myself giving the Rebbe's message, and that's it's something that maybe for a long time
I take out a pushka on stage and you do the dollar before and after.
It's not that. It's that I always attach my shows are very much about giving a message. So I'll sing, let's say, if it's an opera song, I'll somehow relate it to the message that I'm trying to give. Right now, my focus of my message is that is about Jewish pride. not in a way of stam Jewish pride, but in a way of Jewish pride as we learned in Chassidus of being, every year there's a chelik l'kavim mal mamish, and we need to be strong about that. We need to be telling ourselves that, so we have that confidence that we go out there into the world today, and beyond reason, we have a strong confidence in who we are. That's very much the message of my show.
And we finally have a direct connection between Biltong and our guest, our sponsor, Crown and Butcher. Yudi, tell us what Biltong is.
Let me have a taste of this, Biltong.
Okay,
I'll tell you exactly. One
here we
second.
go.
He's from South Africa. He knows.
Yeah.
So
Biltong is a dried, cured meat. It's a very South African thing, and in South Africa, it's served, as a snack, and our kids grew up with biltong. So I'm about to tell you now if this is worthy of. Is it South African? Is it South African?
Hope we don't lose our sponsor.
It's made in Connecticut, no? It's made in Connecticut.
I don't know.
The first thing you have to do is you have to hold it up to your nose.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. You make it.
I mean, wow, I can see.
Okay. Okay, we got the sponsor.
There you go. Beautiful. It's proper biltong. Tastes like South African
It's the real
biltong.
deal. This is the real. I eat this. I don't want to. Tonight I'm milchik, but this is the best built. I love all their flavors. CH Butcher really is doing a great job, and the restaurant on Troy is delicious.
It's a Crown Heights product?
Yeah.
Crown Heights, the local producer.
Kansilum.
It has the rabbanim texture.
Yudi, what's your all protein? If you want to get your dose of protein, it's hot now. Simple ingredients. Yudi, what's your website if you want to check you out?
YudiCohen.com. www. You have to YudiCohen.com.
YUDI.
Hey, what happened to the
YUDICOHEN.
What happened to the Amar Shem Yaakov we were going to get from Motzei Shabbos?
So,
Yudi, you want to do one?
yeah, we'll sing it. We'll sing it.
People
Just
get
sing
a
it with me.
sample. People get a sample.
I don't remember the words probably, but I'll do the first verse because I know the first words. Omar Hashem leYaakov Al tiro avdi Yaakov Tirai rai 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 Al tira avdi Yaakov Tira ra 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 Altira Avdi Yaakov. Now we have to tell everybody on ourselves. Altira, don't be frightened, don't be scared. Altira Avdi Yaakov.
Fantastic.
Yudi Cohen.
Definitely bring this guy down to your Meisid. He's going to bring you big bucks. Don't ask him Ashbia. Subscribe to the channel.
Save. Thank you so much.
Great. You've kept them bringing in that line.
I like the show.